Ooh, I was a little nervous there for a second. I clicked publish on the podcast, maybe when I shouldn't have. So whatever, it worked out. So just a little technical bullshit. So all right, November 3rd, 2021. Just making sure we are up, I believe. So yes. Blah blah blah. All right, so today's show kind of all over the place. I thought that I don't know if you've listened by now. The Chrono intros, dude was just funny in them. Those were fantastic. I don't know if it's his. So we played the audio of his old podcast. He mentioned it on Mike's show yesterday. So the free cast. So Mike Chrono was on the Blind Mike Project talking about kind of. I think they just went on to talk about. I didn't listen to all of it, but I think they did get into like trending topics and shit like that. But talked a little bit about Chris and Jerry and stuff like that. But he mentioned when I was listening an old podcast of his, so I just went to go pull it up, and he does these phenomenal intros. Like, we can laugh about it, but they're friggin', yes, they're hysterical, but too, like, they're just unbelievable. So we had some fun with those. They were super funny. I think I titled the episode "Boo Hiss Get a Load of This" or something like that. Just funny to me, but so hopefully he hears that and gets a laugh. I don't know when I can't remember. I don't remember when his last episode was, or if he was still a part of it. But Kirk brought up a point, like they had competing. Him and Chris had competing New Hampshire podcasts. That's kind of interesting, just funny. But we put a little bit of that. We put like 3 or 4 of them, I think. But he's literally done like 7. I don't know, 3 years worth of podcasts, maybe. I don't know. I didn't go super far back because I tuned into Mike this morning basically, and then I tried to pull him. So, but we talked about that for a little bit. We started off the show talking about Carabas. I'm a little nervous about Kirk's tone with Carabas. He'll be in on Tuesday. Kirk mentioned the schedule next week: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which will be Carabas, Ryan Whitney, and then Quantum Week Chris on Thursday. So that'll be a good week. Obviously because Mike's not here, so it'll be the best week. I'm just kidding. I'm not Kirk. I shouldn't make these jokes. But Jared's gonna be in on Tuesday. We'll see if Kirk is promising maybe there'll be news out of it. I hope the news is that everything's going to get figured out. Jared is a talent. I will stand by that. Yeah, I definitely would say Jared's. And I'm trying to think in my head, and I know the company's changed. If this were a year ago, it'd be a no-brainer. But are there 10 people ahead of Jared Carabas? Just like an overall talent was my point. Like when you get somebody who's who's universal, because I do think, yes, he doesn't do football content. Yes, he doesn't do gambling. Can you pluck him in other scenarios and him work? Yeah, I think you can. And I brought up the point of Sirius and CCK and all that stuff. So that's just maybe that's something that he should be. And I know he does it here a little bit or outside of baseball season, but maybe complementing baseball content with something outside. And obviously he'll do the Kirk Minute show, but maybe there's something that needs to be more consistent there. I don't know. I don't know the inner workings of the deal. I just think he's immensely talented. Anybody would be lucky to have him. If I were a media company, I'd hold on to him. That's just my take. I know some people, I think I was listening to Menners and Red this morning. They're not big fans of Jared Carabas, I don't believe, but I don't know. I like the guy. I think that's specifically to KMS. I don't know, but I don't know. I think he's super talented. CCK was definitely the best Sirius show, if you ask me. So yeah, I hope we don't have any crazy news to report. That would stink. But that is what it is. So hold on, I'm just getting a DM. Okay. What else did we talk about today? Oh, then we talked about. Sorry, my brain just got lost there for a second. Oh, my guy Albert, right? That rattled me a little bit. Albert is. I think people could probably relate to that. So maybe you don't care about pizza, or maybe you don't care. I don't know. But if you go to the same bar and the bartender, or maybe it's, the same restaurant, you order the same meal, the waitress, I don't fucking know. But that is like life altering if that relationship erodes right in front of you. There was a moment today where I thought my relationship with I'm dead serious, probably my 5 closest personal needs in life is this Pizza Palace Pizza in Norwood, Massachusetts, in Norwood Center. And Albert, who I learned his name today, which shows I'm a bad individual. I should have known his name. Albert and I have been doing business together for years now, years and years, always asking me about the media stuff, always asking me about the podcast. Well, today he hung up on us. Obviously he wasn't expecting the phone call. That would have fucking rocked me to my core if I could not get Pizza Palace Pizza anymore. I don't even, words cannot comprehend how important that place is to me. It is, I said once or twice, it probably is twice. And And if it's not twice, I want it to be twice. And I like second guess myself, like, oh, just make your own pizza at home. It's not a big deal. Like, I would be there 3 times a week if I could be. It's that important. It's that meaningful. I can't believe that there was even a shred of risk. I think I described this scenario wrong, so I have only myself to blame in this scenario. But I never asked him to buy the dough. I just figured because it wasn't like elevated. You kind of know when you walk into places all your options. I never got the sense that he sold his dough. I need to be more attentive in life and just in general because, and obviously I could have just asked that instead of assuming, and I need to stop assuming things. That's another lesson I've learned from this show. But he is willing to sell the dough. He will not give me the recipe though. I've asked him for the recipe. He won't. I would probably pay good money. That was where my question was going. I'd probably pay good money to have one of those, like, you know, celebrities sometimes on reality shows will have like a private cooking lesson with like a well-known chef. I'd pay good money to watch this man make pizza dough. I honestly would. I would love, and I think it's still important to me to get that recipe so that I can make it at home, DIY. I kind of feel like buying the dough is the easy way out, so I don't really love that aspect. Right now I buy all my pizza dough at a regular grocery store. I've tried to buy it to make it from scratch. It never comes out well. I fucking hate it every time. So I'm trying to find that right recipe. I think I told a story once of the Sacco fried dough guys were telling me that like it matters what water you use in the town. I don't know. The dough I've made always comes out tasting like shit. So I want this guy's recipe because I want to try it. That's why. And maybe I can get it from like maybe the grocery store that makes it because they make it in the store. Maybe they'll give me their recipe because I like their dough too. But this guy, yeah, either way, it was a tough one. It was a tough one because I thought for a moment we were lost there. Fortunately, thankfully, Mike said call him back and the relationship was repaired. I am no longer nervous to go in there tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow's Thursday, right? It would definitely be on Friday. I would go in there. But yeah, that was a risky one for me. So, geez. Yeah, I don't know. I literally was sitting here like, fuck, thinking in my head, like, what am I going to say to this guy? If he just hung up on me because, you know, he thought that was a bullshit move calling him on a podcast. It is what it is. I mean, obviously it's, you know, if Kirk wants to call him, we're going to fucking call him. But I just think that would have sucked. But I think I could have talked my way out of it on Friday. I could have explained the situation. He's a reason. You guys heard Albert. You can tell how reasonable he is at this point. So yeah, that's this show just kind of all over the place. Talked a little. It didn't really even get into the political stuff, obviously, with what was going on in Virginia, what happened here in Boston. Michelle Wu, that ridiculous quote about her kids, things that were never said, obviously. And then we got into what was the last? Oh, the thing I threw in there at the end that ended up going too long. So I apologize for that. The dog walk. I gotta get into the dog walk. I love that shit. Like kind of the drafting of like real life scenarios like that. Like the mall draft is a great draft. That's a great one. I'm gonna listen to that on my ride home. Leaving out lids is it is catastrophic. I know I said catastrophe with the pizza situation. It's catastrophic. Lids is absolutely probably the top. Okay, now I'm thinking about it, but it's definitely in the top 5. It should not be off a list. Like if there's 6 people, I think there was 6. Even if there's 5, Lids should never be off the board. Should never be off the board in that scenario. It's a wild take. I would think that those guys would have had that on their mind, but I don't know. Maybe they didn't have enough prep time. I don't know. Or maybe they don't think like we do. Maybe in Boston we think things differently. But I know if I asked somebody, what was your favorite mall store growing up, Lids is in the mix. Lids would be in the first 3 answers they give every single time. Not even a question. It's not a question. So, all right, let's get out of here. That is the You know what? I actually agree with Menners. This is the KMS reaction show, like producer reaction show. It's not really the KMS Wrap Up show. And I'll give him credit because he does a great job. So that was a good episode this morning, and I like Red. He defends the wall better than anybody. So that's the reaction show. Maybe I'll change the name. Who knows? We'll be back on Thursday. We'll actually be in here because we got the Talking Soprano guys tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I think Kirk said maybe release that Monday, so we'll see what he comes up with there. And then next week, a big week, a Mikeless week. It's a shame. But he'll be on his doing his little comedy thing. I shouldn't say little. He'll be doing his comedy thing at Skankfest. That's a weird name. It's after a podcast, right? Isn't there a podcast called Skanks or Legion of Skanks? Isn't that the thing? So I've heard him talk about that before, but he'll have a good time, and they're gone for the week in Houston. So they should enjoy themselves. And yeah. And so we will talk to you again on this show on Friday, KMS main show, Friday morning. Yeah, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye.